Hey, what's going on, everyone? Shiva Sapkota here with another Tesla video. Today I'm really excited to show you a Tesla Model 3 side fridge for your car. We have seen a lot of Model Y fridges in the past because they got a large compartment where you can easily fit a fridge, but this is the first time somebody has made a Tesla Model 3 fridge, and this is for the Highland. I believe they're working on other Tesla Model 3s in the future, but this is specifically for Highland, and you can fit this fridge on the side here. It's a pretty large fridge too, so you can open it. There is a lot of spaces that you can put the drinks here inside, and there's also a compartment in the bottom where you can fit additional drink for a cool, chill drink at all time for your summer. You can also control this entirely using a phone's app, where this is a very nice futuristic app where you can control the temperature, you can control different modes and everything just with your phone, and you can leave it connected with the Bluetooth. There's also a controller in the front, so just from the driver's compartment you can control this fridge all the way in the back without actually coming to the back. And there's a setting I'm going to show you in the Tesla where you can toggle that setting. It will just allow you to have this power at all time. Even if you're camping and you just want to plug this in and have that refrigerator drawing a very little power from your Tesla at all time, you can do that now. I'm going to show you the setting that you need to toggle. Really excited to show you. Super easy installation, as I said. Let's continue with the video. So this product was sent to us by TL Yard to review in our channel free of charge. It's just $5.29. Again, I'll let you be the judge if this is worth it or not. They have some sales going on where you can put a code and bring this down. But if you look at it here, they have pictures and everything, and you can select the US version, the EU version, and the other areas. I think some of them are starting to sell July 10th. So right now, if we were to hit this to cart, we'll go to checkout, and on the checkout screen you can put a code right here. If you put a code SHIVA-TESLA, so Shiva Tesla, it is going to bring that cost down to $386. So you actually get a pretty big discount with $142, bringing the total to $386. I'll let you be the judge if this is worth it or not. So one thing I really like about this is as soon as you open the box here, it actually gives you the instructions right on the box on how to operate it, everything. A lot of this companies send stuff without instructions, and this one just has it right in the box on how to set it up, everything. They have QR codes that you can scan. There's even YouTube channel where you can go and look at it. So then they actually send you a fully assembled unit. This just came out of the box and it is done, right? In the past you had to put screws and whatnot for this side refrigerators, but nothing here. Everything is pre-installed. So here is a quick 360 view of the fridge. You see the dial here. This is going to control everything. This is the door here. You can fold it. There's stuff that you can put inside and even in the bottom, the fridge and the refrigerator. This is the front. It looks really nice. And then when you rotate it, you're going to see this pretty much aligned with the inside of the Model 3 Highland on that back pocket area. And then this is what the back looks like. A little bit of this is sticking out. Again, it fits within that inside area. And then this is the other side here, and this is what it looks like. So that's what you get. It's very nicely aligned. This is a precise fit, and they give you some Velcros here because there is a carpeted area that you can just put it against the liner and it will just fit inside. This is a microfiber towel to clean, and then it comes with some essentials for wiring. So for example, you get the little wiring controller here where you can control the fridge in the front. I'll show you where to plug this in, and then the actual wire that we have to route from the back to the front cigarette lighter port. One thing that was amazing with this one that I'm noticing is that it actually comes with instructions manual and everything in here, which is very, very refreshing, because usually this company, as I said, they don't send you anything and you have to rely on videos like mine to know what this is and how to operate it and everything. But this one, look, it has everything, like the control, how to control and everything. They included it. They put all these warning cards and spec sheet and everything. For the install, we are just going to be relying on these two plugs that you see here on the top, and we're just going to be using this big harness that has those two plugs, if you look at it here. And this is super straightforward. Before you put this on the side, you want to make sure that this wiring is connected, because it's going to be hard, because it's going to be on the back. And they do tell you to put this fridge upright upright. I think I showed you kind of facing down earlier. Please don't do that. This needs to stay upright, and that's true for any fridge that you get. Even for your house, they tell you to transport the fridges upright because it has a coolant system that relies on the refrigeration system, that relies on gravity, as well as the compressor oil that could leak into the refrigeration system. So you want to make sure that this is upright, and if it was tilted, I would put it upright and let it sit for like 24 hours before you use it. So having said that, let's go ahead and continue. What you do is you take this plug. You see there is that two heads here. All you do is align it. There's a little notch, and then you just have to align it to the notch that you see here, and then we just have to insert it. Once we insert it, it goes in. This is like a typical, like an e-scooter charger. Basically, that's where we find this type of a connection. But right here, we secure it, and then you take the other pin, and then you plug it in, and you secure it. This cable needs to come out of this right from your view, left from once it goes in, and you just want to have a little bit of slack here. Now we're ready to push this in. Now for this installed, try to keep it as upright as you can, but you do have to tilt this slightly inside. So you want to push all the bottom inside already, and then that will allow you to then make your way around it. And then once you do this, if you look at it, it kind of falls into its place, and you just slide in, and this is pretty much installed now. We just have to route this cable, hide some of this stuff, but we're good to go. This is fully in. Now the fridge is fully in. One thing that I didn't notice is I couldn't get this to fully go in. Maybe it is just my car. This is a pretty loose part here, so I don't know. Maybe it will not be flush as I would like, but just keep in mind. Looking at it from this angle, you don't see it, but just from the side, I do see a little bit of the fridge. But as I said, Teslas are known to have different panel gaps at different cars, so maybe it's just my car. Anyhow, now this just becomes a wire routing job. So we got this wire here. Now we just gotta kind of route it. I would recommend doing it from the bottom here, so you can push this in a little bit and then leverage this gap that you see here. Now we gotta fold the seat and take it to the front, and just depends on your OCD level, how much wire you wanna see. Let me show you how I'm gonna do it. So as I said, this is a wire routing job at this point, so you can just take it from here. Depending on your OCD, if you want to use like a pry tool to prop this just a little bit and go through it, I don't mind having the cable here. But if you really wanted to hide the cable, you could become creative. You may be able to even lift this panel a little bit, but there's multiple ways you can do it. I folded the seat and then take it from there, and just we're gonna show you from the front what that looks like. So once you're here, you can just pass it through the seat, the gap there, snug it inside the seat area here, and as you can see, we have taken it out. Now we're just going to be hiding the cable and taking it from kind of in the front and taking it. Let me lift this seat to show you. We have successfully kind of hide it under here. Make sure that the seat belt is not affected. You come underneath, and we're going to be routing it. Now I'm going to take it all the way to the middle here and then route it under that floor mat to the front. Now at this point, I have just routed the cable somewhere to the middle, but there's still a little bit of a gap. That's because I routed it through the floor mat here, take it out from there and take it to the front, but I want to first connect in the front and make sure there's no slack in the front, because I can still hide the cable underneath this seat here. Now in the front, all you have to do is open this and grab this piece here, and you want to face this pin towards the passenger side, because that's where we routed the cable from, and simply insert that just like how we would with like a dock or a sexy enhances commander, and simply leave it right here. As you can see, it becomes secure, your cup holder is not obstructed, and then you take this and then you can plug it in. We're not going to plug in quite yet because we're still doing the wire routing, but this part here that we routed from the back needs to go in. Grab this piece that we ran from the back, and there's a little bracket here that kind of buckles here, and then this top part, you look at the pins, it goes and simply connects in that port there. So that's what we need to do, is push this in and it connects, and then it is aligned here. So I think that's their way of hiding the cable to make it a little bit more discreet, but you're going to be able to still see the cable. So unfortunately with this install, because this is a Model 3, not a Model Y, unless you want to just figure it out where you hide it under here, under the seat, be my guest. I'm not going to do all of that, but you can if you want it to be really creative and hide it, but I think you're still going to be able to see this cable there. Just wanted to clarify that on a normal seat position, which would be up to here on for normal person, you're not going to see that cable down there. They did a pretty good job, but if you are a really tall person, you need this backed up all the way, that is when you see the cable. But just for a normal seating arrangement here, you're not going to be able to see that cable. Now I basically rolled up all the extra cable and then hide it there. You're going to be able to see that cable visible there, but it is pretty minimal. You don't see anything here, just there. And of course, if you look closely, you're going to see it on the gap, but it's pretty good actually, to be honest with you. Now let's go ahead and power it and stop playing with the fridge. Now powering it is just as easy as just simply plugging this into the front cigarette lighter port here. And you're gonna see this light up. Then we're gonna start messing with the setting for the fridge. Now once you first connect this, you're only gonna see a power button lit up here. Nothing is gonna be lit up, and that's by default. It doesn't want to turn on automatically. You can change that setting, but here what you need to do is press and hold on the power button for a little bit, and then you're gonna see the display. So it says right now it's 27 degrees Celsius. You cannot change the unit here. You're gonna have to do that from the app. I'm gonna show you here in just a second, but that is basically the Celsius, and then you can decrease or increase the temperature. So if you wanna put that into like 7 or 5 degrees Celsius here as the target setting, then it will start dropping from 27 to 5 degrees. We're going to do some testing here on how quickly temperatures drop, but that is how you do it. And there's not much to this screen here. It just shows cooling, and then there's the 2 USB-C output for your charging on the top, but that's about it on this screen. It's just to turn on the refrigerator, set the temperature without going all the way to the back or needing your phone. You can just do it from the comfort of your seat here. So when we come to the back, after turning it on from the front, you're gonna see that the compressor is running and there is a blue circle around the dial here, which means that the system is cooling, and it shows 26 degrees Celsius. And to increase or decrease the temperature, you can't just dial this, you have to actually press inside. So press it once, and then it allows you to then dial it. So 8 degrees, whatever Celsius that you want, you can increase it, it will beep. And then once you have reached your desired temperature, all you have to do is hit this again, and then that is set. So now it is gonna go from 26 degree to your desired 5 or whatever degree that we set earlier. And that's how simple this is. You can change between different things here, but just the temperature, and this compressor is running. It has some noise, but it's not as loud as some of the other fridges that I have seen in the past. Let me show you the app, because you can control a lot through the app. Now, one thing you can change with this is also turn this on and off. So just pressing this once allows you to toggle the setting, right? So pressing it again, it makes that setting. If you just press and hold here, then it actually turns off the fridge. So it completely turns off the fridge, and just pressing it once is not going to wake it up. Just like in the front, you actually have to press and hold on to this middle button for a little bit, and then you see that it toggles on. So you don't have to go all the way to the front to change that setting or turn it on and off. You can do that from here as well. You just have to press and hold onto it, and there's that blue light, then this is now running. So for the app control of this, you have to download an app called Timai. So that looks like that. You can just search for Timai on the App Store and you'll find it. You just do add a device. It allows you to Bluetooth, and then from here it says Timai Glacier 3. It actually found it. We're gonna do add it, and there's the Glacier series. So now we can just go tap into that, and it says connecting. It has a little Bluetooth sign, that means it is connected. And now we can tap here, and then boom, we can fully control this through this. So now it is all controlled through the app. It's 22 degrees, and first thing I want to do, because I hate seeing this into Celsius is go over here and tap on settings, and then right here it says temperature unit. I'm going to put that Fahrenheit, and it beeped letting me know that it changed it to Fahrenheit. I'll show you in the screen here, but basically it now allows you to change between different settings. Let's take a look at those. Right now with the Glacier 3, you can see that it is powered off, but its Bluetooth is connected. So if you look at it here, you can see that the Bluetooth sign is connected. The fridge is powered off because there is no power there. So if we were to just click here, you can hear the beep, and we can go ahead and hit the power on. Now with the power on, you see that it is orange right now. It is on the heat setting. And remember the last setting that I had set it to, so that's why it is in heat setting. Now there is multiple modes here, and this is how you can control the temperature. So right now you can control the temperature from 120 degrees all the way to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. So it allows you for a large temperature selection here. Now let's start with the heat setting. Why heat is a refrigerator, but you may need a heating situation in some instances where you may want to heat up your liquid and whatnot. That's this setting here. If you have kids, infants, you need formula to be warmed up. It's a really great way to do that here with the heating setting. So this basically becomes an oven, and it heats up your drinks, your food, anything that you put inside. So that's the heating setting. Now let's start with the other settings here. So refrigerator settings is right now, if you look at it, it's set at 32, but you can kind of change this. You can go any temperatures that you like, and this can ideally go from somewhere in the 20s all the way to the 60s. You can adjust the temperature as you like. It could be room temperature, but basically this is refrigerator. So whatever you put on your refrigerator inside, the temperature that you like, you can set that on the refrigerate mode, and this will just refrigerate your drinks. And if you turn this off, come back, it is going to default to whatever temperature you had set it the last and the refrigerate mode. So right now it shows like 38 degrees, so it's need to go from 69 to 38 on the refrigerate mode. So the time just depends on how hot the car is, what the content of the inside looks like, how much stuff that you have. So it all depends on that. But refrigerate is just a regular refrigerator setting, and I suspect this is where you're going to be at most of the time. You're going to be refrigerating your drinks to a desired temperature. You can set the temperature and just put that. This is right now in Fahrenheit, of course, but you can change this to Celsius as well. Here you can see the battery temperature voltage, which is really good. This is the front voltage here for the 16-volt battery. There is a refrigerate, it's working condition, it shows the current temperature of the refrigerator. So that is refrigerate here, just a normal refrigerator. Eco mode is, you look at it here, it goes from blue to green. This is like using an eco mode on an ICE car where it basically uses less energy, it doesn't consume as much energy, and it is efficient, so that it is not going to get you the coldest temperature right away. It's just going to adjust the temperature intelligently based on the car's interior temperature, the fridge's temperature and whatnot. It's going to analyze all of that and then give you an ideal temperature setting. So if you need to cool a lot of stuff inside, or if you need to cool it rapidly, don't use this mode because it's going to take a while to cool it, and it's going to just keep adjusting the temperature based on the current conditions. So eco mode is exactly how it sounds. It's going to take longer to cool, but it will cool it, but it is going to use less battery from your car. So there is a trade-off for that. The compressor is not going to run as much. Now the colder right here, this is the fridge setting. So if you need to rapidly cool something, use this, because then you can put it here and it will go all the way to low. That low temperature depends. There is no set temperature for the low. It could be, on the 10s, it could be even below. But what low temperature does is going to turn on the compressor at the max speed. Right now you could probably hear it going, and it is going to chill the drink rapidly. So going from 69 to whatever temperature you need is probably going to be very, very quickly for that to happen. So that's what you get with colder. It's actually a freezing temperature. So if you need something to be frozen for a short period of time, they say that after 2 hours or so, it is going to go back to refrigerator. So this is not meant for keeping it on that colder forever, because it is going to use a lot of battery from your car. So that's why it is stating is that the colder, they say only lasts for 2 hours, but this is how you rapidly chill the drinks if you need it. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, yes, this actually uses the 16 volt or 12 volt battery from the front, but how Tesla works is that even though it uses the 12 volt battery, it is going to drain that battery a little bit, and Tesla need to use the high voltage battery to recharge that battery. So you are actually wasting the high voltage battery, so you're going to get lower range with this. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be a lot, but I would probably not recommend using this colder mode as much, and just keep that into refrigerate and set a temperature there. So that's what you get here. If you scroll through, it explains some of these modes, and then when you go to settings, you can modify the nickname, you can do the temperature, and then you can check for firmware. So it will just show the basic parameter here on the firmware. I don't think it is a firmware update. It just shows everything about the system, things that we just explained. So now I have the car over there locked, and we are a little bit far away. I wanted to check if the Bluetooth setting at least works on this from outside of the car. So this would apply to if you're outside and you wanted to control this or start chilling or warming up the drinks. So now, oh yeah, the Bluetooth connection was successful. The car is over there, and then we go here. It says it's 56 degrees right now. So now we are able to just change this setting from refrigerate. We can increase the settings, so 41, 42, whatever we want the lower setting to, even control some of this colder temperature and everything from here. We can even turn off the fridge altogether. So now the fridge is turned off. So if we go here, it is connected with Bluetooth, but it is not running. So that is great, because now that allows us to not have to go all the way to control this. If we're like, hey, we don't need that right now, it has reached the temperature and whatnot, we can just shut it off directly from the app, even outside of the car. Now let's look at the storage and what you can fit. As I said, this is a one-touch operation. You open it and you see the Timai there, and it is all blue. It's already getting colder. I have barely run this to show you, just turning on and off, and it's already getting colder. You can actually remove this and you have a little bit more space there as well. The compressor is on the top, so I would assume, yeah, it is going to be coldest on the top here. So we get really cold here and in the back. Stuff that is in the bottom may not get as cold, but you can do that. Here are some 7.5 ounce cans, and you can actually fit this on that bottom compartment. If you look at it, it's a little bit of a tight space there, but you can fit it there. You can even horizontally lay this, and if you look at it, it hasn't even reached the top area where we need to put the divider. So you could do that. Space smaller ounce cans there, and you may have to be a little bit creative on setting this straight, but you can fit things there. So even that bottom piece fits in 3 7.5 ounce cans. You can fit other stuff like juice in there, and then of course if we were to close this in, we can fit a lot more on this space. Here is the 7.5 ounce can again, and there's still plenty of space on the top. So it is of course it's going to be smaller than like the Model Y fridge because the space is not as much, but even with this, you can stack the 2 cans there and it actually fits. So the 2 7.5 ounce cans fit there. You can put a whole water bottle, just a standard. The water bottle, this is the 500 milliliter, 16.9, and you see that it fits in there. So you do have some space, so there are, you can stack multiple things, even veggies. So you do have some space to put stuff. And again, remember there is on the bottom too. So if we remove this divider, you can even fit taller bottles here. Now if you remove the divider there, as you can see, I'm able to stack 3 of those there and still have some room left over. So unfortunately, you can't quite fit a gallon of milk here. I mean, it does slide in, but it doesn't go in all the way through. Unless, yeah, I don't think you can fit that. So no gallon of milk. Let's see what else we can fit here. Now here's a large size tumbler, and it fits in there with the space remaining, so that's pretty good. You're able to put your drinks in here as well. Of course, I have to test some veggies. I'm a vegetarian, and it fits perfectly fine in there. I can probably fit another cauliflower there or other veggies on top as well. Here is a 33 ounce here, and it fits perfectly with no issues, and more on top. Now by default, this refrigerator is going to turn off after you leave the vehicle, just because you have to turn on all the setting and the screen before it will stay on, because Tesla did an update last year sometime disabling this cigarette lighter ports everywhere and the 12-volt accessories if you leave the vehicle to consume battery. Now what you have to go is go to charging here on the menu, and then right here it says keep accessory power on. So this is what you need to toggle, and what this does is it will remain the accessory power. So that means cigarette lighter ports, 12-volt accessories, any of the plugs and everything will remain on even if you leave the vehicle up above 20% of the battery. After 20% it's going to shut down, but up to 20% of the battery remaining, it will stay on. And just keep in mind that even if you don't have anything plugged in, the car is going to be awake at that point, and it may discharge a little bit, it may use more energy, so just keep that in mind. It says it continues to consume energy when no devices are connected, so just keep that in mind. But that's how you can toggle it, and then this will just run at all times. So let's do some temperature testing here. I think the fridge is somewhere in the 80 degrees, so 64 degrees right now. That's what we see, and it's set to 32. But I'm actually going to turn on the colder setting. So this will be a colder setting, and it's set to low. And let us see how long that takes. So it's about 10:28 right now. Watch here. So the timer is going. It is at 64. Let's see how cold we can get at what temperature and what time. So we're gonna let this run for a little bit, and I'll let you know what I see. Now during this process of that cooling, I could hear the compressor running, but even at that, it's actually really quiet. So it's not like a super loud compressor running like the previous fridge that we have seen. So I think they did a pretty good job with the noise as well. So it's been about 5 minutes and we are at 48 degrees. So that's a pretty big jump just in 5 minutes. So let's see how quickly it runs. I'm gonna let this run for another 10 minutes or so, and then see where the low temperature might be. About 8 minutes here, and we are at 32 degrees. Guys, that's half in 8 minutes. Like, we went from 60 some to 32. That is really good. And let me see if I can feel it inside too. Oh yeah, this is icing here. As you can see, this is all icing here, and this is super cold. So let's see how much it can get. But this is already your refrigerator temperature, right? Under 40. But let's see if we can get somewhat of those freezing temperatures here. All right, we are 15 minutes in, and we are at 21 degrees. That is crazy fast, and I could totally feel it inside. This is all have ice. These drinks are chilled now. Yeah, this is really good. It cooled down really quickly, and all of this, even the top and everything, this is cold. Like when you touch it, this is just all icing here. So did the job. Let's let it sit for a little bit more to see how far we can take this to. So 21 minutes, 18 degrees, guys. This is really nice. Yep, these are super cold now, and this is all icing. This is icing too. The back is icing, so I think it is headed for that freezing temperature. I think we can kind of terminate that test here. We have already seen it. Within 21 minutes, we went from 62 degrees to 16 degrees. So that's quite the big of a jump that we saw. So it works. Just wanted to demonstrate that. So what do you all think about this fridge for the Tesla Model 3 Highland? I am really excited to try this out more during the summer, but it's really nice to have a fridge in the back. It doesn't take up any real estate. I don't have to give up my sub trunk area like some of the larger fridge. but I can still fit decent amount of stuff in here. The front, I think they could do a little bit of better job at integrating, but I think that's the best they can right now, just given the wiring and everything that is required for this. Maybe in the future they can find a power from the central console area and then just route a smaller cable to the right and then bring it all the way to the front like some of the sunshades. But for now, that works as is. As I said, just based on your OCD level, this may or may not fit your needs and requirement. But for me, this is a really great product for the summer, especially for a Model 3 with a smaller trunk area and not giving up so much real estate. As I said, it's a really integrated product, very high quality product. It came with all the instructions on how to set it up and everything, which is a bonus, as I said in the beginning. So overall, a really good product. I think it adds value, but I'm really interested in knowing your feedback. Would you get this for your Tesla Model 3? They also make one for a Model Y Highland. Please let me know your thoughts, your likes, dislikes in the comment section below. It also greatly helps us if you engage with our videos. So liking it, commenting it, anything you can do to increase the engagement, because then we can bring more and more videos like this in the future for you all, as YouTube thinks these videos are helpful and ranks it higher in the algorithm. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. I'll be back again soon.